Oh wow. That's wow.
Explain to the audience what you're seeing.
This is a lot of hair. You have a lot of hair. Is that what's going on right here?
Do you like it?
Yeah, for somebody who with the shirt to match, for somebody who says after we did Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke that you didn't like Chong's character, I see no reason why you are slowly turning into him.
Hello, and thank you very much for downloading this most recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast. You can download many more episodes at movieguyspodcast.podbean.com.
Can I start this with a dad joke?
You absolutely can start it with a dad joke.
I just found out that Sylvester Stallone's on his third wife.
Yeah?
Yeah, his first one was a little bit rocky,
Oh my goodness.
and his second one was rockier.
Okay. That's good. Congratulations, Jordan, on your dad jokes. I told one to Sarah the other day, and I think she gave me that like where she doesn't want to laugh,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
is too good because I saw it on Dad Jokes Instagram where what do you call a medieval spy?
What?
Surveillance.
There you go. Happy 4th of July. That's how we're starting this out. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Of course, we are reviewing Civil War. I don't know how I feel about this movie. Eric, how the hell are you doing?
I was doing good until I watched this movie, and then it's just like, ooh, is this a glimpse into the future that could be?
Is this a documentary?
Yeah, this could be one of those things where it's just like, kind of like Don't Look Up, right? Where it's like, oh, at least that one was very much more exaggerated and satirical. This one just seems like, woo, pretty.
This one's satirical kind of as well. I don't know if satirical, but darn this movie to heck, Eric.
Absolutely.
Because I had to wiki this because I don't understand what started the Civil War. Do me a favor. Do you know what started the Civil War? Because if you don't, I can tell you where to go, and I got you the map for the United States.
I believe that this started because the current president started a third term and basically just took over the government and just saying, well, this is mine, and then a lot of states succeeded in rebellion to his actions.
So check this out, if you don't mind, because you have to go on Wikipedia and search Civil War.
I have it
film, and you will see the United States map.
Yeah, and I see it.
We were watching the movie last night, and I was watching, so I was like, okay, so the blue in the map, which is majority of the states, are all, what do they call them? They don't call them Federalists.
The loyalist states.
Loyalist. So they have these blue states, which is majority, which are loyal to the current president, which is OG United States. And then you have, Texas and California, which is the WF, right?
The Western Forces, yes, that they have succeeded from the Union, yeah, from America.
The movie doesn't tell us about the other two. It says the Florida Alliance.
Yep, they push it off in a sentence. I don't remember too much about the New People's Army, which is kind of the North and the Northwest.
Like the North Dakotas and the Idahos.
Yeah, it's basically like everything from Washington over to, what's that, Minnesota?
Yeah, so I mean, what does that mean? And we're discussing this for everybody's listening because the movie does not tell us. What I like about the real Civil War, if you want to say it like that, is because there was a clear line of North versus South. Is it just the Loyalist versus Texas and California? What does Florida Alliance, which has Georgia and Louisiana and Tennessee to deal with this, and all the Western states? Like, who's fighting who here?
I had thought that, if I remember listening to it, I have to look it up, but because they mentioned the Florida Alliance and how Florida had tried to get more, I guess, states to. So I think at this part when the Western forces were created and succeeded from the United States, that a group of other states were just like, well, we'll just make our own little area and and try to be a neutral. Try to just be like, okay, well, this is your guys' war and we're staying out of it.
Is that what the northern people were doing too?
Yeah, that's what I caught from the Florida Alliance and from the New People's Army. I I think that's as good as any guess as I'm gonna get. I don't know if there's
Okay.
any deleted scenes, but I'm pretty sure that they're basically just saying like, "Hey, listen, like we're here, we're ready, we'll stand by if and when something goes wrong." But I think for the most part, they're just like, "We're just gonna let you guys hash this out, and we'll just kind of like pick the winner, side with whoever goes with it. They want to stay out of it."
Which is why I'm trying to figure out if I like this movie. Tell me if I'm wrong. This is my opinion. I feel that this is two movies into one. I truly, honestly do, because
Go
the
on.
movie is over the place. I mean, like you got it's not even 2 hours, so it's a brisk hour 40.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty good. Which I'm shocked for this kind of movie. You expect a 3 hour epic, right?
Well, this is where I think there's more to it that would explain a bit more of like the Florida Alliance and the New People's Army and what's going on. But also, I think that they probably cut a lot out of it to keep it apolitical, right? To keep it so that it's not so one-sided and to really put the politics on it and for each state to kind of pick sides on what it is. But it's a fictional movie. I don't see why you just don't go all in.
Well, yeah. I mean, we also see who are heroes that we follow throughout the movie. We see what side they're on at the end. But we have two different movies. We have this very character-driven drama kind of piece in the first half, and then the second half we got Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally that. This guy, I looked up this guy, this director. I don't think I'm a fan of his. I've seen some of his work. I looked at some of his work and I was like, oh, I don't like this guy.
Oh, Alex Garland, you're not a fan?
No, I think we reviewed him a few times and I got mad.
So he has written more than he has directed.
Right, I'm talking about the movies he's directed, though. I don't think I liked.
Ex Machina,
That one.
Annihilation.
I did not like that.
You didn't like that one? That was the Natalie Portman sci-fi one, right?
I did not like that one.
Men, another A24 film. I don't know. I watched that one. That one was a weird one. And then Civil War.
Okay, so yeah, okay, never mind. So he hasn't directed a lot, but he's written didn't he write like the 28 Days franchise?
Yeah. So here, he wrote 28 Days Later. He wrote the novel of The Beach, your favorite DiCaprio movie there.
Okay. He wrote the novel. Okay.
Yeah, he wrote one of my favorite movies, Sunshine, directed by Danny Boyle.
Okay, so Danny Boyle likes this guy.
He wrote the screenplay for Dredd.
Judge Dredd, the Judge Dredd movie?
Yeah, with Carl Urban.
Okay, so this guy's a better writer.
Yeah, he's a better writer than he is a director. But then again, I think he has experience. Like Ex Machina was a very sci-fi
I like
slow
it.
burn, right? So was
Right, I like
Annihilation
it.
a bit more, but then again, Annihilation wasn't that. I don't think he because that was a book, and then he probably wrote that for screen. He probably adapted that, right?
I just remember Annihilation because that thing has moved on and off her schedule for like a year. And eventually I just got sick and tired and I just watched it. So back to Civil War. This movie, I was not hyped, right? Like, so sometimes I drink too much of the hype Kool-Aid. I did not get hyped on this one. I was like, oh, a Civil War movie. Okay, Ray, here we go, hey, perfect timing, right? But the trailers didn't look too bad. And from what I got from the trailers, you and I had an off-air conversation. From what I got from the trailers I was like, oh, we're going to follow a group of reporters. And you were telling me that you were reading that critics hated this movie because it was exactly what I said it was going to be. It's about following reporters. It's not, if you're going into this movie expecting battles, I mean, you're really not going to get that, not to the end.
Yeah, we did get battles, of course, but I think some people this is the weird guilty part of it, right? Is that we are in a election year, and there's a lot of high tension going around on both sides. And it does seem like, given the polls, there was a poll, I think, and it's released that there are some people who are all about an actual civil war. So the conversation
I know a
has been
few.
brought up before, and I feel like this
Mhm.
is one of those kind of like not like a good way, not like a vicarious type of movie where people are getting that fix and just say, "Yeah, this is us. We're doing it. We're winning. This is what it looks like," kind of a thing. And then they watch it and they realize it's just a story about journalists going around and seeing kind of what it looks like. I think some people really wanted a bit more of less character and more story, more
They
right.
wanted more what they were fighting for.
They wanted more of the substance of the thing of, okay, well, what states have taken what side, why are they doing it, yada yada.
We don't know. We still know to then this movie. The only thing that I know is that, the president, who is my guy, Nick Offerman, right?
Yep.
The president somehow gets a third term. And I think the movie starts when the war begins because he's on TV saying, we're already going to win and stuff like this. And there you go. Like, we don't know what political views any of these sides are on. But we follow. Now, you're going to hate me. Is it Kristen or is it Kirsten Dunst?
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst. Following her, wow, her career. I never would have thought. I'm going back and thinking of 2001, 2002. I'm thinking of 16-year-old me watching Spider-Man, like, this chick is hot. She's going to be the next starlet, if you will. Oh boy, nothing. She's in this. Who's mustache dude with the earring? I've seen this guy before.
He is more notable or more famous from Narcos. He played Pablo Escobar,
That's why I know him from. And then,
but he's basically
uh,
your poor man's Pedro Pascal.
yeah. Oh,
Is that a good way of putting that?
yeah, yeah. Pedro's too busy filming Gladiator 2 right now
Pedro's too busy filming everything right now
because he's Pedro.
because he's, yeah, of
So,
course, that
so
mustache ain't taking a break.
no. So, Civil War. We got Texas and Florida, which is kind of hilarious. Not that Texas, Florida. Texas and California, which is hilarious that they are joining forces against the United States government. They seceded, and we're going to war. So this movie, without going beat by beat, because there's a reason why I'm doing that. This movie follows a group of journalists that go from New York City and they have to travel to Washington, D.C., but it feels like they have to go the back way, and they run into nothing but militia the entire time.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
That's
they
it.
they run into, it's obviously a bit dystopian, and they're just being careful because it feels like they're in the loyalist states.
Well, yeah, but I did not know that, and I mean, I did not get that until after I looked it up.
Oh, of course, you are getting the sense, but at the same part, I get the feeling that just tensions are high. And what they brought up later is that even though they are pressed and they feel like they have maybe a right of way,
Right.
a free passage, that there are definitely a lot of people around here who don't really care about the law and are able to just go around doing what they want, knowing that they kind of can right now.
Right. So that's one of the things that I want to know about is the people that we see that are in uniform are not actually soldiers, right? Like, these are just militia.
Yes and no, because the first time that we see much of anything besides outside of New York after the suicide bombing that we see, because at first it's just police versus civilians, and they're guarding a resource, and then you see that lady walking in or running in with the American flag, and then suicide bombing, which
Right.
again, I think to your point, we could use a bit more narrative about what's going on right here. Why is there such a divide? If this is a loyalist state, is it just that there are some people who are against it, or have their resources been cut off because they are in the loyalist states, and the other alliance states are putting the pinch on them a bit? Again, we're kind of left to guess on that part here too. But they had said that, yeah, going through Pennsylvania and directly to D.C., which is their goal because they want to interview the president, is
They want to interview him, yeah.
yeah, exactly, is not going to be the best. That their best bet is to kind of cut through West Virginia and then go through Maryland, right, and then kind of go up that way. The first
Are
thing
they
that we see is the gas station.
right? But are they naive to think that they're actually going to get an interview with the president right now? That's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, especially for what they say, he hasn't had an interview in like 14 months or something like that.
Right, right. So gas station. You're talking about when they leave New York and they go to the first gas station where the guy's like, what you talk about when the guy follows the young reporter to the people that are like hanging, like in the shipping container? Is that the first place they? Yeah.
Yeah. They go to the gas station and they see again those people kind of just doing their own thing, kind of vigilantes, and just really doing their own to police the area. They said that they're looters, so you could tell that that area was obviously barren for resources, and they caught some people trying to steal or rob from them, and they caught them and they beat them up and hung them.
Well, okay. So that's another question that I have. Never mind, because what I'm trying to do is not I'm trying to not make this review of mine to be about what ifs. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to say, wait a minute, what about the police? What about the military police? Why is this? You know, I don't want to go that route, and I do, but I don't want to because I think it'd be very boring for people. But I'm not liking the world right now. You know, like
Yeah.
it just seems too clean, too easy. What I mean by that is, oh, okay, so Texas and California are against the rest of the country, let's just say. Everybody just, you're in charge of your own self. Good luck. And I'm like, no, that's not how this would work.
I appreciate the movie because there's little parts in there that you have to piece together, like in that gas station scene when they say, "Oh, we'll give you $300 for some gas," and the guy attendant was just like, "Well, that doesn't mean anything. $300 gives you a sandwich here," and then she's like, "No, we'll give you 300 Canadian." So obviously, the economy, the American economy, has just completely fallen, and whatever currency that we are using, that the Americans are using in this world, it doesn't mean anything. And so the only thing that would be of value probably would be the Canadian dollar, as it's being our closest neighbor and as equal to our currency rate because of that too. So I'm sure that that Canadian dollar is now worth more than the American dollar. So because
Not,
the
not the
government's
peso.
fallen. I mean, the peso
Not the-
might be, maybe the American dollar is worth just as much as a peso right now, instead of it being the Canadian dollar, instead of it being the loon, right?
Yeah, nice. So the next thing that I kind of was like, okay, I'm interested in, isn't this is where the group they kind of bond a little bit, and the young photographer starts to like really get into photography, and this is where they meet the snipers, right?
Yeah, so our group is, well, you're jumping ahead, yeah, but yeah, our
Yeah.
group is
No.
is
Yeah.
Lee, Kirsten Dunst is Joel, the guy Jesse, the young girl, and Sammy, right, the old guy.
I've seen this actor 1,000 times.
Yes, you have. He's
I
he's,
I,
he's
I
been in a
don't.
lot.
Yeah,
He was in
it's
Dune.
been a lot. No, yeah, I've seen him 1,000 times in my life,
Yeah, he's been in a lot.
and he's now the old guy. What am I skipping though? Because after the first gas station, don't they go to the snipers, or is there stuff in between? I mean, like there's nothing major. It's just like them driving, and we're seeing famine, if you will, or just like random buildings on fire.
No,
Wait a minute. No, wait a minute.
yeah,
This is where they go to battle. There's a battle.
yeah, they are driving through the night, and they see as they spend the first night together, they see firefight going on in the background. And this is where Joel is getting all hyped up, kind of like, "Ooh, I want to go take a look. I want to go take a look." And Lee just seems to be like, "No, I don't want to go do that." I think this is actually great character development for everyone here, just because we'll explain a little bit more later, but it does seem like Joel, because Jessie, the young girl, had said it earlier that she's never been more scared, but she's never felt more alive in these parts, which is a great thing to say, because that felt like what Joel is that he's scared constantly, but this is his adrenaline rush. This is his fix that he gets to keep him going. Whereas Lee, Kirsten Dunst, is almost like aware that she's desensitized from everything, as it cut glimpse in New York when she was in the hotel of things that she had photographed before. It cut to that part when she was, I'm assuming, in South Africa, and they necklaced a dude. Basically, that's where they take a criminal and they put a tire over his torso and they light him up on fire.
Yeah, that was violent. That clearly is. Isn't that the famous Vietnam Rage Against the Machine cover thing? Is that what they're trying to do?
They're trying to say that she is just a seasoned wartime photographer, and that she has seen a lot of this ugliness. She has a speech in this part right here, a monologue, or maybe it's actually more of a dialogue that she's talking about with Sammy, I think, where she thought that she was doing these jobs and taking these pictures to send a warning back home, to say, hey, this is ugly. This is a bad thing. We don't want this. And then here they are at home, and this stuff happens. That's I think the big message of the movie is not this future that could possibly be, but that all this is ugly. That there's no winner in this. It sucks for everybody. It sucks for both sides. It sucks for everybody in between. You can't escape it, and it's a thing that you should avoid trying to do. Even the people, when they eventually get to that quiet town and they thought to themselves that, oh, this place is untouched. It looks like it was, and they go into the store, and even the employee was just like, yeah, we just try to keep ourselves out of that whole thing. But they go outside and they learn that there's still snipers on top of the roofs.
I like that part, right?
Yeah.
She was the definition of keeping it cash.
Exactly.
That story, I loved it because I feel like that's what my town would do.
It's showing that you can't hide from it. That no matter is how much you would like to play pretend and say, "Oh, we're not involved," it's like you're involved.
Yeah. I mean, your area would just be terrible, but my area, we just bury her heads in the sand. Doesn't happen. We're all going to the football game that night. The local football game. We don't care.
And while watching this movie, I imagine that a lot of people would think that too, given the area that they're in. They have to think, what area? What side would I be on? What team would I be on? What would my town, my neighborhood look like in this? Would we just ignore and go on, or would it be like that glimpse in New York where there's tent cities and you're fighting for food and everything is just scarce?
Right. Well, see, that's the thing too, is I don't understand why New York looks like that. We only see glimpses of New York too. We don't see
whatever.
major.
New York looks like that now.
Yeah, well, I mean, true. Let's be honest. So yes, so I actually did like that scene. I wanted to bring that up. I want to share my thoughts. Is that they go to this small little town and everybody's walking their dogs. Everything is cool, and then even like mustache dude is like, do we go through time? And then they go to this like dress shop, and they're like, it was a Civil War, right? Oh, we don't pay attention to the news. But when Kirsten Dunst comes out and sees the old guy, he's smoking a cigarette. I loved it too, how cash he was too, because clearly you could see in the background on the roof that there was two snipers, and he's just like, "Don't look, but look," kind of thing.
Yeah, he's like, I've seen this before.
Right, And then this is when they get to isn't this then when they get to the snipers in Christmas Land?
No, no. So yeah, but we're also missing a part where after the gas station, they end up again doing the nighttime thing, and then they go to, I guess, like another building where you find uh like a militiamen fighting a loyalist building, and it's their first
Right.
firefight. You know,
First firefight
in
as a
fact, it
crew.
was kind of, if I remember correctly, it was kind of a big jump because it was like at night, and then the cut scene was directly to a guy hiding behind a pillar and just taking gunfire.
Right, yeah, and those are straight militia dudes. We don't know what side they're on, right? Well, obviously we do know, but we don't know if they're actually like.
I'm assuming that everyone in a military camo is loyalist.
But also the people in the WF were camo as well.
Later on in the movie, yeah.
Right.
And those are
Right.
probably just what the Western forces, their actual forces are. Everyone else, I'm assuming, are just militiamen. So we get this part where it's Jesse's kind of her first battle, kind of
Right.
her first action, where she's in there taking pictures, and she's in it, right? You get to see the
She's
thick of
scary.
it, yeah, and you get to see these guys going up the stairs. They pop one of the loyalist military guys who's like, "Help me!" Just pop.
Don't care.
Don't even worry about it. And then they capture 3 of them and they take them outside to execute. And
Right, which I was surprised.
yeah,
Because again, at this point, I don't know what side I'm on, right? As the audience, like you're on the side with the dudes that just got captured and executed, right? Because that's not cool. But then you don't know, right?
it is a weird thing, right, to identify the other, because in this world you're not wearing a gold star to identify you.
Nice.
That's kind of what it is. You're not wearing green and they're not wearing blue.
Right.
It's not really a huge divide there. It just seems that these guys the militiamen are wearing casual business clothes, or casual Saturday clothes, excuse me. Their weekend gear, and then the other guys, yeah, exactly. And then the other guys are wearing their Teflon and their Kevlar vests, and they got the full kit on, right?
Right.
Military boots and everything. It's an interesting world to live in. It sucks. The only neutral thing I could see is people who are wearing the press pass stuff, wearing the press helmets and press vest.
Right. So then after that, I'm sorry. So I'm not going to go to the sniper. I keep on trying to bring them up, but you keep on stopping me because I'm thinking.
Now we're at the sniper.
No, not right there yet. Aren't we at Tent City at some local high school football field?
Is that so? I think so.
Is that after the sniper or is that before?
I think you're right.
Don't they like go to like this? It's like a high school or maybe like a small college.
No, Loyalist Held building, and then after that building, then they go to the refugee camp.
The refugee camp,
and then they pass through the small town. Yeah, then they pass through the small town, which we were just talking about. And they live in that kind of yeah, exactly, that naive kind of ignorance of like, oh, there's no war going on, or we just, and then after that they go to the Christmas fair.
I want to still understand. I mean, I'm sorry, Eric. I know I'm contradicting myself,
apologize.
but I don't
keep on doing it, man. We're all confused here.
I don't understand the refugee stuff. It's not the movie's not showing, right? I mean, like this world is not big enough to where there's been a show or a few movies in between. This is not even based off of a book. I thought this was based off of a book. It's not.
No.
So it's like we're just following these group of people, the press, and what they're seeing. But it's like, why are there refugees? Where do they come from? Why are they refugeeing in a high school stadium? I like are the loyalists, did they screw up this area? Did the Western Front screw? I just don't understand where they're going on the map and what has happened.
I get it. From what I'm gathering, because the entire movie takes place in the Loyalist states on the East Coast,
Right.
right? And so I would imagine that when we roll through these towns that are completely destroyed, that there was already fights happening there, that there are Western forces and possibly the Florida Alliance. I think they made mention of it, maybe even the New People's Army, that this war had been going on for a while, that there was battles and they did blow up stuff. And what we're seeing, the refugee camp, is the aftermath of someone's neighborhood getting blown up, or their resources completely being choked and cut off. People probably don't have money anymore. Even if they did, it sounds like money's worthless at this point too, because nobody's going to
Right.
work, and they're just reset. It's a completely life reset right now, and I don't know. You're right. I don't know if this refugee camp is set up by an organization at the Loyalist, or what government little that there is left for the Loyalist army, or states, excuse me, are setting this up and funding that and piling in there. But yeah, these are all questions I think intentionally left unanswered, just to kind of
Right.
show you the ugliness of what is happening here. What did
Yeah.
happen here? It sucks either way, but is the answer going to make it better? Is the answer going to fix this? Probably not.
No, I guess this is for me as the audience. I would like to know, but the writer and director decided to put us in the middle / end of this war, so we could see all the aftermath of what happens, I guess. But after that, we get into the Christmas fair, and this is where I kind of turned in the movie, turned in a positive way.
Okay.
So they show up and they're in their van, they're in their Ford Explorer, and they see this dead soldier with his head blown off in the middle of the road. Clearly, they're skeptical. They see a big house, like, okay, something's going on. And they're getting sniped. And then out of nowhere, these two soldiers, allegedly soldiers, right, are just there in the sniping position trying to find this guy. And they're not soldiers, right? Because didn't they ask him, like, whose side are you on? And they're like, there's a guy shooting at us.
You're right. You're right. And I think this is another good part of it here too, is that they're trying to get they're asking questions just like you are. They're asking questions to try to get more information, and they're pressed too. Like, hey, we got the press. You know what's going on here? What side are you on? What side are you on? And the snipers are giving them like, shut up. Who cares?
Yeah, we're
All we
trying to kill
know,
this guy.
yeah, all we know is that there's a guy in that house shooting at us, trying to kill us. We're gonna shoot back and try to kill him. That's all you need to know. It doesn't matter if his name is Frank and he grew up in this state and Frank's got family, man. Doesn't matter. Dude's shooting at us right now. We're shooting
Right.
back. And again, I think this movie is trying to really paint this picture that there comes a point where there are no rules, that there's no book, there's no guide to go about doing this. It is dog eat dog.
Mhm. No, I mean, I totally agree, but I do feel like these snipers have had military training. I don't think you and I would post a position like that and know what to do.
Oh,
Like, one was a
absolutely.
sniper, one was a scouter. These guys definitely had some experience. They killed the guy. Great line in the movie. The sniper, good guys, quote unquote, killed the bad guy, and then the guy's like, "All right, guys, get some good news," or something like that. Like, it was a good line.
Yeah.
The movie then turns completely in a different direction to where they're driving down the country road, and all of a sudden this other SUV is coming out of nowhere, just builds up some tension, right? Comes up behind him, going really fast, spinning out, and Kirsten Dunst is like, "Hey, bud, there's people behind us spinning out." I'm like, "Oh my god, okay, this is something serious, right? Maybe it's the two sniper guys coming to get them now, right? Like, something's happening."
Yeah. Either way, yeah. There's somebody who's speeding up quite fast,
And
trying to get at you.
right, and then eventually you find out that it is Mustache Guys' other buddies, colleagues, right? That he drunkenly said a few nights before at the bar, where all the press we're at, that they're going to interview the president or they're going to DC, whatever.
They're on their way to
And
DC.
you and I are not those two guys, but you and I are friends and know these two guys.
Oh yeah, yeah.
These guys are dicks. I mean, sorry. These guys are D-bags. Like, they're driving fast and reckless. They're literally, while they're going at high speeds, they're going in between cars. Like, just wow. Like, jerks.
Yeah, I don't understand why they. I think they just felt kind of excited that they took their friends by surprise, and they're kind of having a little bit of fun.
There's a little bit of fun, but then there's too far. I mean, these guys are too far, man.
Yeah. There's too much of a good time, and they overstepped it because the guy driving the car, Bohai, whatever, Tony's friend, it gets too
Steve.
fast and drives. Yeah, and he drives off ahead of everybody, and that's where we get probably the best scene in the movie.
My boy.
Jesse Plemons. The car that we're in with Kirsten Dunst and all them, they finally catch up to the car that sped up ahead of them, and it stopped. Doors open. They were obviously stopped, and they were taken out. And it's because there was a bit of a car switch, right? So it's Jesse, the young girl, and Bohai. I might be saying that wrong. Who cares? And they're taken out to what looks like some unknown militia who are in camo, and they're burying civilians in a mass grave.
Jesse Plemons, right?
Yep.
I know this guy. I don't know him personally, but this guy's my next door neighbor.
Oh, sure.
You know, like this guy or these dudes, right? These guys are not military. These guys have no military training whatsoever. They've seen one too many Black Rifle Coffee YouTube videos, and they bought some camo and an AR-15 and think they know what they are doing.
Yeah, these guys were looking for the excuse. These guys
absolutely
are happy this is happening, and they are taking the stick of authority way too far.
Possibly these two were in the military for 2 years and then got out with dishonorable discharge.
Exactly,
you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Like, I mean, the pink sunglasses for Jesse Plemons just does it for me.
Are you American?
What kind of American? God. What a great freaking line that is.
The tension that he has, like, just controlling that situation, and good on him for this too, but not just his delivery of the lines, but the way he's moving that gun from resting position to like just a one-handed over kind of raised up to pointing at people, and it's just like, geez, buddy, you are moving that gun around a lot, and it's hard to keep track.
Training.
Yeah, it was fantastic seeing, like, just high tension, and it catches up real quick, right?
Oh, catch up quick. So what happens is that we have this mass gravesite, Jesse Plemons and his two dudes. He has a dude that's with him. He has a dude in the dump truck that has a bunch of bodies that they're dumped into this mass grave. They're flinging powder on him, and my wife said, "What is that?" And I said, "Lie."
That's what I'm assuming as well, too.
Yeah, I'm assuming lie. And then the news reporters come up and they're just like, "Hey," and Jesse Plemons is like, "Hey, I have pink sunglasses. What's up?" You know, and they're just like, "Hey, you got our colleagues and our friends. We're at the press. We're just passing through." And he's like, "Oh, is this Behan Steve? Is it Steve? Steve's your colleague?" Yeah. Boom. Dead. Instant scene has turned. I'm getting giddy because this guy, I love this actor, man. This guy is amazing.
It just so casually just turns the gun and just pop.
Just this is your cat. This guy's your colleague. Pop doesn't even turn it. That's just amazing. Because again, this is my neighbor.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy.
I think a lot of people watching this movie can
Know this guy.
that's why maybe this movie's a bit relatable, just because it shows all parts, or a lot of parts of who are involved, of these characters who are going to be involved in the Civil War, and this is one of them. The wild cards, right? The people who are just going loose, and they've formed their own little kind of community and just kind of doing their own little thing. Just yeah, the beginning of the road, right? Where
Did you
it's
watch?
oh
Did you watch The Last of Us TV show
oh yeah
on HBO? Episode 3, the one that follows Nick Offerman.
yeah
Jesse Plemons would be Nick Offerman. Like this would be that if Nick Offerman's character was crazy. You know, I kept on thinking about that, but he's just like, yeah. So he kills that guy. Everybody's freaking out, and he says the line that is a great line, and we just said it. But the line is, "You're an American. What kind of an American?" Like I love that line.
yeah
Like that. That's like, oh, okay. And then mustache dude is like, I'm from Florida, so he doesn't seem to care. Kirsten Dunst says she's from Colorado. What does the young reporter say? She's from Massachusetts,
Missouri.
Missouri. And then he goes to the other Asian guy, and he's like, "Where are you from?" And he's like, "Hong Kong." He's like, "Oh, China." Boom, shoots him.
That you ain't American.
He ain't American. So
We're all American here. Yeah.
if old guy didn't come in to save the day, would Jesse Plemons, which I know you know the answer, probably, would he have executed the other 3?
Yeah, absolutely.
So he was just playing with his food.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, because I don't think, again, the two people speeding in the truck, Steve, as you call him, and Jesse, were rolling through pretty quick, and everyone was just kind of having fun. And I think they, by accident, rolled up on these guys as they were just on the road, or what have you. I don't know what the situation was. Again, name any situation that
Sure.
kind of had would have happened there, and it just a fun time turned into a bad time real quick. I think these guys just got a real trigger happy, and they're getting off on what they're doing here, right? On the control that they have, that they can just, and obviously it's a mass grave, so I'm assuming
They
that
killed a lot of people.
yeah, I'm assuming that they just kind of rounded people up and they're just kind of having fun with it. Almost like in, was it like Schindler's List when they were killing the Jews outside of the balcony, just kind of, or
Oh, that's a good reference, big guy. Yeah, he wakes up, puts the gun behind his back, smokes a cigarette. Didn't you tell me off air, or maybe I'm dreaming, that this scene wasn't in the movie, that this was a get for them? Like this was like Jesse Plemons came out for like a day or two just to do it?
Yeah, apparently a few things about this movie. A lot of trivia with this movie, but the original actor that was supposed to be in this role couldn't make it, and so they got Jesse Plemons because he's married to Kirsten Dunst. Like last minute, he dropped out
I
like
did not
days
know that.
before the scene. They got it. Other thing too is that before this scene, because he came in so late to the movie, he was not introduced to any of the other actors. So
that'd be
he's
good.
stayed in character the entire time. So this scene that we're watching is as real of a situation as you're gonna get. It's them coming in and just kind of knowing, loosely choreographed, I'm sure, about who was going to die and when and things like that. But for the most part, it was supposed to be like just off the cuff kind of a thing. I'm also reading that in the entire part of this movie, in the entire filming of this movie, that the director really chose to immerse the actors, and so that was the choice of Jesse Plemons to come in just method acting as the character from the start, no interaction with any of the actors beforehand, and that every gun on a set for this movie was using full blanks.
I'm surprised they had the guts to do that. What happened to the bald one guy?
Yeah, right. Well, I guess they have an actual weaponsmith on the thing, but it was supposed to be because every gunshot in this movie. It was loud, dude.
Yeah, no, it was.
Bang,
And
bang.
for people that are listening, Eric and I know each other pretty well, so I think we're kind of feeding off each other on this. The reason why I can feel that we're both kind of giddy about Jesse Plemons in this scene is because when you watch this movie, everything before Jesse Plemons to after Jesse Plemons is a completely different movie.
Absolutely.
I mean, this one scene kind of steals it. Like, I kept on reminding me of it, and I went back on YouTube and watched the clip. But remember V for Vendetta?
Of course, yeah.
Not a great movie, but good enough. But the scene that always sticks out to me is the woman's monologue about her life journey.
Oh yeah.
You remember when Natalie Portman reads her life journey when she's a prisoner?
Oh yeah.
And out of that whole movie, that montage kind of, sticks with me. And I feel that this is that scene. I mean, like, this is a great scene. So after this, Jesse Plemons gets run over. Old dude gets shot. I don't know how old dude gets shot. Old dude that's driving the car.
I thought about that too, and I think it was just because as he was, so he comes in, runs both the guys over,
Right.
and kind of get in the car and they run out. But the guy driving the military truck gets out, gets his assault rifle, and starts popping shots. I think there was a moment because I thought about it just as much as you did. It's like, well, that would have gone through, but there's a part where he turns, and I think the broadside, the driver's side, was shown. I think that's where the guy got him there because he must have been aiming for the driver. Yeah, Sammy was just driving serpentine,
Magic bullet theory.
or could be magic bullet.
Happened twice in American history. Once to JFK and second to Sammy.
Exactly.
I would also give this movie props. This is where you can see, like, from Plemons to credits, I'm getting giddy, because Sammy gets shot and he's like, I can't drive anymore. And it cuts to the young girl. Really good fake vomit scene, by the way. That looked legit. All right. I don't know why she just did it then. I know that she fell on a bunch of dead bodies, but that was like probably half an hour ago. But anyway. And like they're driving through the woods that's on fire. You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
And they're doing that slow motion music thing, and you see all like the floating embers. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, okay, all right, the cinematography on this is legit. Like, okay, yeah, this is pretty. Like that was hauntingly beautiful. That was a very, very good shot.
Yeah, and I think again, the director's choice to kind of show some beauty in the destruction.
Mm-hmm.
Because
obviously it was nice. It was nice looking.
Even though there's a forest fire and everything's just being destroyed, that there is something to come out of this. There is something that perseveres, right? To go through it. So I thought it was I did enjoy that part of it too. But also because of that because of that part, you're just like, all right, well, Sammy's dead.
Obviously, Sammy's dead, right? One or two people in this group had to die, right? I mean, that's kind of the standard with this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Two at least, all but one survives is the standard, right?
Uh-huh.
But that's kind of what I was thinking. Like I was thinking Kirsten Dunst or the young photographer were going to survive. Only one of them were going to survive.
Sure.
Mustache dude was dead.
I wasn't sure that who was going to die until we got them storming DC, and when Kirsten Dunst, her character, when she starts having the panic attack and freaking out, when she starts breaking, basically, I was like, oh, that's gonna be it.
Yeah, no, I was thinking when that happened, but like I thought Mustache dude was gonna get it. But we know what side they're on, right? So the beginning of this episode, we were kind of confused, talking about the map, whose side's doing what. But they arrive to the Western forces, right? And the Western forces are American military, right? They look just like us with the camo.
They arrived to Charlottesville?
Right.
Where the Western forces base.
Right. And Western forces like, come on in. And there's other press there. And they're like, hey, tonight's the night, bud. We're attacking D.C. tonight. This is happening.
Yeah.
And They can't do what they were come out there to do. They can't get the president. They can't to talk about it. So they tag along to do the siege on DC. And for you Call of Duty fans, this is what you get. This is what you want. If you're a Call of Duty 2 fan, remember that?
Yeah, this is actual military, by the way.
I figured this was real military.
Yeah,
Because the way these dudes moved look legit.
yeah, a lot of their call outs. Obviously, I don't know it a whole lot, but it says that in an interview, Alex Garland said that they tried to do as much ex-military as they possibly could for the immersion. He really wanted to go all in. And this is A24's most expensive film to date. $50 million was the budget, and yeah, so they really tried.
Yeah, because when they were in, I'm skipping a little bit, but when they're in the White House and the way they moved and the way they talked to each other, like the soldiers, I was like, are these actors? Are these soldiers? Like, these guys seemed legit.
Yeah, they really did.
So we get the siege on a DC, right? The Western forces are blowing it. I love the Apache helicopter just mowing everybody down. We get some good battles, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
But also a piece of me is kind of like, oh, because these are Americans versus Americans. This is happening, right? Like, this is straight up happening to where, like, the president has like this fake convoy, right? Like 3 different vehicles come out and they're just getting lit up, right? And I felt bad. But like this one woman, like she's wearing like a pantsuit, comes out of the convoy. She's like, no, wait. And they just pop, falls down dead.
Yeah, there was a comment
It's like,
made
oh,
by the one journalist to the other, or it's like, so what's the orders? Are they going to plan to take the president? And he's like, no, kill. This is no conversation. It is a kill on sight.
Which is amazing, right? Because you would think that they would try to capture the president, but evidently this dude is not showing my political opinions here. This dude has Hitlered it, I would say, and everybody's sick of him. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know, but they're in the White House because they're like, hey, this convoy's a decoy. Let's go. And we get this great battle. Well, I'm sorry. Before the hallway battle, we get into what? The press secretary? Right?
Yeah,
they go into,
yeah, that's right.
And she's just like, hey, president's going to surrender everybody. Let's negotiate. Yeah, he needs to be on neutral ground. And they're just like, nah, screw you, press secretary. Pop, done.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. They're not here to negotiate.
Nah, we negotiate with terrorists, right?
Exactly.
And we get a very, very intense battle. This is where we get the 3 people left, right? We get the young reporter, Kirsten Dunst, and the mustache guy. And I'm like, okay, 2 are going to die, 1's going to live. That's what's going to happen, right? Like, mustache guy's going to get in the head. The camera's going to pan down and see his ugly mustache face just blown to shreds, right? Because I didn't like him in this movie. And Kirsten Dunst is your hero, and she's gone throughout the whole movie, so she can't Drew Barrymore it, right? Like, she can't do that. So, like, the young girl's going to get it, right? And Kirsten Dunst is going to be even hardened, for the sequel.
I thought that too, especially because they made the comment of, if I die, will you take my picture? Earlier on in the movie, and Kirsten Dunst said, what do you think? It's like, yeah,
right. And
like, of course I'm going to take a picture if you get shot or blown up.
Right. So then everything that I thought didn't happen, mustache guy does not get killed. And Kirsten, young reporter chick, does a stupid choice trying to get shots down the hallway. Kirsten Dunst has a heart of gold for 1 second, pushes her out of the way. Somehow she dies with a bulletproof vest on. And my wife pointed it out too. She goes, there's no blood.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that. But the symbolism on that, I thought, was that because she had done this move where she was crossing the crossfire a few different times with her camera, and as she was crossing, she'd go click, click, and take a picture. And the young girl, Jessie, who is obviously inspired and looks up to her, it wanted to do the same thing, right? Lee, right? And wanted to do the same thing. And so in her attempt to doing what Lee was doing, Kirsten Dunst, in her first step, she does it at the wrong time and would have gotten shot, but then a seasoned photographer like Lee, Kirsten Dunst, who says, "Oh, well, that's the wrong time," pushes her down, gets stepped on. I wouldn't think this is what always bothers me in movies like this, where like if you just tackle her and both go down. Don't push her down and then just stand over her, right?
Or if your actress is wearing a bulletproof vest, shoot her in the face.
Yeah, you know.
Because young photographer goes down, she sees Kirsten Dunst, which this kind of annoyed me in the movie, where the photographers take a picture and there would be a still black and white frame. It's like, okay, a few times cool, but after that, let's move on. But like Kirsten Dunst did like that platoon pose, like Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of pose. I'm just like, really though? Like again, bulletproof vest, no blood, she falls down dead, and then boom, they're in the Oval Office and there's Nick Offerman. And mustache guy is like, wait, we can't kill this guy, and he's just like, need a quote. And he's like, please don't kill me.
Yeah, that'll do.
That would do.
And that'll work.
That will work. So yeah. And they shoot him and dead in a movie.
And then they take pictures of it.
Yeah, and that young photographer will go down in infamy as one of the greatest photos of all time, right?
Exactly. This is where she gets her wings, probably.
Do you know? Yeah, of course you do know. You know when like in the late 90s, early 2000s, when Episode 1 and Episode 2 of Star Wars came out, and people were complaining. I was especially one of them. I'm sure you were too. Maybe you're wrong. Where we were complaining that there was too many Senate discussions and we wanted lightsaber actions and stuff. Remember that?
Yes.
And now as I get older and older and older, I actually find myself interested into the Senate hearings in the Star Wars prequel trilogy.
The politics of the Star Wars.
Right. I wish this movie had the guts to go 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours, to give us more
so
political.
This is how democracy dies, with thunderous applause.
Thunderous applause. Greatest line ever. I'm just saying. Let's get into our popcorn ratings. Eric, I don't know what I want to do. I asked my wife, what do you give this? And she says, I give it a medium. That's what she says. I did enjoy this movie a lot. But in order for a movie to get a large, from my point of view, is I'm going to want to watch scenes again. And Jesse Plemons is that scene. You want to help me make a decision? I'm like, do you already have your mind? Because I don't.
No, I'm on the fence too. Like, I can totally see why this would get a large bag, but at the same part, it does feel like medium territory for the few reasons where there was too much left to the imagination. Like you said, I would have liked to get more of that talk of the council, of more background, more history of what's going on and how we got here, rather than just being thrown into the last week before it ends. I think I wanted a bit more of that. I do appreciate what was shown. I do appreciate the highs and the lows that the movie gave. I was hesitant about it being about the journalists, but I think you had a good story. I think it delivered, showing the theme of like, war is ugly no matter how you paint it. And I think they did a really good job of that. Some scenes were better than others, but I'm left with more questions in this movie than I am with a satisfied answer. And I think because of that, I tend to lean more towards a medium on this.
Do you feel that this movie, because we've only given 2 large bags this year, do you feel this movie's in the same category as Holdovers?
No, not at all. Listen, I think the casting on this was excellent. I thought Kirsten Dunst did a fantastic job in this movie as this person who's jaded, who's over it, who's not sure why she keeps doing it. Like she seems like that she doesn't want to do this anymore, but at the same part, she doesn't know another life. Whereas the other characters are doing it, like Joel, are doing it because this is the thrill. This is how he gets off, is being close to danger. And Sammy is doing it just because when he started, it wasn't always like this, but he's just so far in now that he doesn't. He's just along for the ride, it seems. Which is
Literally.
yeah, exactly. I have to say it's kind of a metaphor, right? And Jesse's just that new person who wants to get into the action, thinking that she wants it, but then seeing it and is kind of on Joel's page a bit more, where she's just like, "Geez, this is actually kind of a rush," and you could see her in that look. I think all four of these actors did an excellent job of really playing their parts. I think the director did a fantastic job with showing the scenes and how he immersed everything, about how most of the movie was done in this car and the cameras were in this car, and
Right.
and really giving you these high tension moments of what it looks like. Hour 48, I would be happy with another half hour of this movie.
Yeah, that's the thing, because I asked you if it was holdovers, but is it Godzilla -1 territory?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, just because
Because Godzilla was a large.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess the difference would be is that with Godzilla, it was just more of a complete story. I'm not asking the same questions on Godzilla that I am in this movie, and this end fight scene with them breaching the White House, that was awesome. I get it. Like it was cool, but because you have cuts where it goes to the journalists all the time, it kind of takes you out a little bit, because it's just like, get out of the way.
There was a lot of
yeah.
there was a lot of cool choices, but a lot. Yeah, how about that? I mean, like, this is kind of Godzilla territory, but not holdovers. Those are the two movies we're giving a large to this year. But yeah, I mean, this movie's definitely, in my opinion, a medium. Give me a beer and some extra butter on top of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's there. It's right there.
Here's the thing: is that, like, I'm gonna watch. I would watch holdovers again. I would watch Godzilla -1. I probably will watch Godzilla -1 again. And the other one was Killers of the Flower Moon, I think that we give a large to. And as much as I
it was, yeah.
as much as I enjoyed that movie, and as much as I would like to watch that again, 3.5 hours is a tall order to do. But this, I feel like it just could have accomplished a bit more. And I think it's well written, it's well performed and acted, and it's well shot. But I think the writer-director Alex Garland maybe intentionally left too much out for the imagination. And though I appreciate it, I think for something like this movie, I just wanted a little bit more. I don't feel like taking it out would have been because of sensitive material in today's turmoil and environment of that. I think that if you go down a bit more and give us the story, it makes it more fictional, because you can make it absurd. You can make it so, like, like what the hell is Idaho gonna do? Tell me that, please. What are they got potato guns? What are they gonna do? Yeah, and I think they made those little comments about how, oh, the Florida Alliance has fallen and is ready to join back to the Loyalists, or whatever. It was just kind of like these little one-off, but they never said the president's name. They never gave him a political party. They never gave political parties to either one of the sides, actually. Everything was just gray. And I again, that's intentional. I get that, but I think people are coloring in those pictures a bit more. And is that well enough to say that?
No, it's not. No, it's more questions. I mean, this movie's not a movie. This movie's a TV series. This movie's an 8-episode series.
Sure, maybe even a 6.
Yeah, like that's what it needed to be. More and more that I discussed it with you, I did enjoy the movie more than the Jesse Plemons scene. I went into the movie just wanting to see this, just to see the Jesse Plemons scene.
Absolutely.
But going into the movie, there was more of it that I enjoyed. But it's not a large. It's just not a large yet. And I think there's a lot on the cutting room floor that they could have added, but a medium.
Yeah.
A very, very high medium. You were so close to being the fourth large of the year for us, but
Yeah.
just not doing
This
it.
might go back into the re-review category, the rewatch when we do at the end of the year for the Movie Guys Award. The second look.
The second, this could go into it because we gave that to Matt Frick. Everybody, thank you so much for listening to this most recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast. You can check us out at movieguyspodcast.podbean.com. We hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July. I know we did. And make sure to keep on downloading us. And thank you so much, Eric, for joining me. We'll be back next week with another awesome episode. Have a good night.
Please share your sad story.
Do you remember, this is what got me into it, okay? 17, 18-year-old Jordan. I want you to go here with me, okay?
Okay, I'm buckled in and ready to go.
17, 18-year-old Jordan sees this commercial, and this is what he likes. Just check this out.
I love playing two-hand touch, eating way too much, watching my team win with the Twins. I love quarterbacks eating dirt, pom-poms and short skirts. Fans
boy.
who won't quit, and those Twins. And I love
Now,
They allowed that on TV, huh?
now, I'm 17, 18 years old, and I'm starting to get used to the idea of there's this barley soda out there called beer. I'm starting to get into pop culture, right?
Sure.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm a Coors Light man. 17, 18-year-olds, never had a Coors Light in my life. Never had a beer at this point, right? Because I'm not in college. I'm very famous. It's a very famous story that my first beer wasn't until my freshman year of college.
Yep.
So I'm like, I'm a Coors Light man without even tasting a sip of beer because of that commercial. Because of the Twins.
And that's why they have commercials. Get you
Right.
and be like, there you go.
So
You didn't go for Spuds McKenzie for
No,
the
well,
Budweiser there?
that's the thing is that this Coors Light Coors commercial came out when I was 17, 18 years old. I was really getting into it. Spud was early teens, maybe preteens. You know, like the Budweiser Frogs is when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, for
You
sure.
know what I mean? So, but,
Or that
no,
Bud Light Penguin.
right? No, nobody liked Miller Lite, right? I have a theory. If you go back and look at the old commercials, like the 70s, 80s, and 90s, Miller Lite was always advertised as kind of like the speakeasies, kind of the older gentlemen, kind of like the white collar drinkers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Coors Light commercials were always young, hot, young bodies on beaches, silver bullet. It's the right beer now, you know. And Bud Light was always for the cop, for the construction worker. You know what I mean? Those
Really? I thought Bud Light kind of yeah, sure. I thought Bud Light was the everyman. It was the blue collar choice there.
at Bud Light, yeah, for the everyman, right? So the whole point of this background is that go from 18-year-old Jordan to 22-year-old Jordan, and the Coors Light is still sponsoring the NFL. And my now wife, but then girlfriend, surprises me with 2 tickets because we live close to Cleveland to the Cleveland Browns and Packers preseason game. And I'm like, this is great, right? And I'm drinking Coors Light heavily this time, and I go to the Brown Stadium with a Packers hat on like a jerk.
Yep.
I got harassed
Of
bad.
course you did. Of
Oh.
course you did.
I didn't know. I'd never been to an NFL game at this point.
Surprised you didn't cry.
I was called names. And there's a picture. There's a famous picture. Next time you come up down here, if you remember, which you won't, because I won't remember, ask Gina if she can show you a picture of me sitting on the steps of the stadium getting a Coors Light from one of those beer here guys.
Yeah,
Because I was so about Coors Light. You know this, right?
I know this. That's why I got some this weekend in honor of you.
Von Druk and triple time Von Druk. Last week, I've been drinking nothing but Coors Light like I always do, and I am bloated again. It's coming back, just being bloated. And I'm like, oh my God, is the one thing that has always been there for me, that has never left me, has never made fun of me, who never said I wasn't good enough or big enough or strong enough. It was always there. I can't drink it. I have to go to Miller Lite now.
Man, there's always Labatt. There's always a blue for you if you want.
Oh, no.